All right, we're back, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. I want to go ahead and say thank you to Tracer Audio and Production. They're badasses. Go to traceraudio.com, and they will fulfill all your audio and production needs. Now, I want to talk about aliens because we used to talk about this a lot when we were younger. Okay, now I have this whole theory, and I'm going to summarize it for you real quick, and then you can just pop in there. All right,
I remember one of your theories from back in the day.
It's kind of switched around a little bit, you know.
Hit me with it.
But basically, at one point we were really powerful creatures, and we've been here for millions of years on this planet, and at one point humans were able to manifest. We were magical, and we could actually manifest things with our thoughts, and we can make, you know, everything was in harmony and balance with nature, and we were in perfect balance with everything, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, we at one point we were wiped out as far as now I'm not sure what race it was, but they came down here and they wiped out all the elders of the tribe, so to say, and then so all you had left were like kids under 12, right? So they didn't know how to run the infrastructure. They weren't taught exactly how to do all the, you know, so we lost something there. And a couple of generations where they brainwashed, and so this is, for the sake of argument, let's call them the Anunnaki. And then they said, all right, we need you to mine for gold and this and this and this and this, and we're going to come back in such and such years, and we're going to take all that shit back from you. So then all these years have passed by. We haven't seen them. We evolved to this point, but yet they're still in contact through other races that you know, mediate. And I think it might be the Greys, and they let the Greys know that you know, how, what we're doing, what we're up to, and blah blah blah. And then they see, and then they might be dimensional travelers. Also, the sun's a Stargate, and some crazy stuff goes on with the sun, and then this is the crazy thing that, okay, see, I'm trying to do it as fast as I can because I want to get it all in a few minutes, but then, so we evolved to the point to where we're starting to become to the point where we can be planetary creatures, and we have to move to that next step of evolution, and we are naturally, our children that are coming up are like naturally evolving creatures, of spiritual creatures, and they're more planetary, they're more, you know, they're more conscious of what's going on. And then also the information age that we're living in right now, it's all just coming in. So the kids that are coming up now, not only are they more caring and more conscious, but they're more aware of what's going on in the world, way more than I was whenever I was, you know, a little kid.
We didn't have Google when we were running around, man.
Exactly. So now they can actually see, you know, what's going on, and they can say, all right, well, you know, it's up to us because these dumbass motherfuckers ain't doing shit. And so slowly it'll progress, but the Anunnaki, Planet X, Nibiru, all of it, all those theories they could come back and take all our gold, and then we have to start over from scratch, or, you know, cause some kind of catastrophe and wipe us all out. We got to start over from scratch. But that's what's crazy about it is say we had another ice age, you could grind all of this stuff to nothing, and then let the ice melt, and then start back over, and there would be these small little batches of humans that survived, and they wouldn't know shit about running the fucking power plant, you know?
Right.
So they'd basically be starting over from scratch.
Right.
And we just hit the reset button.
It's almost like all of the, a touch of all of the religions of the world has a piece in this you're describing.
Oh, yeah. And then, but this is the thing, the Matrix does too, because all of that being said, they just recently found computer program, you know, computer binary code in a string theory. So they're like, okay, well, you know, what are we in a computer program, right? Because, I mean, we were barely scratching the surface. And then Michio Kaku proved that there's different dimensions, because he was able to make that piece of metal vibrate at a certain frequency that they actually occupied two separate spaces at the same time.
Oh, wow. And I did not know that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So, and then the Nordics, and then the Verdants, and, I could go on and go on and go on and go on, because I feel like we're I think we were made somehow, right?
Absolutely.
But we're not made in the sense of biological creatures, but made to be where we're at as far as technology and our course. Something's
being directed from an outside
so that's where
force.
the computer program thing comes in.
So
what do you think about the aliens?
Man, I agree with some of what you're saying. The Anunnaki, from what I understand, was that they were some of the fallen angels that had sex with earthly women and gave birth to the giants, right? Was that the Anunnaki?
Yeah.
I believe it was them. They're only mentioned one time in Genesis. My latest...
They mentioned a lot in Ancient Aliens.
Absolutely. and I've watched that show a couple of times. I do like it, but it gets to where you hear the same stuff over and over. Yeah. And here's my take on it. I think... because I'm a Christian, I believe that Christ was who he said he was. He was God, or part of God, because I think God is everything. And I think that's where the aliens come into play. I think that angels or God's servants that appeared to us the way they needed to appear to us at the time of our development, just like I think that Christ appeared at the time in our history that he needed to appear. Just enough people on earth for him to make an impact, but not so much. If he showed up today, he'd be thrown in the crazy house, whether he can make something levitate or not. I mean, Chris Angel can make something levitate, whatever. But that's my take on aliens. I think that a lot of them are interdimensional beings or angels appearing to us in the form that's going to awe us. Okay, if an alien appeared back during Christ's time, which there's few sightings back then, but if they appeared back then, it would completely devastate humanity, like you were talking about, kind of resetting. Not necessarily them doing it, but us doing it ourselves, because we're not intellectually at that level.
Right.
But now that we're technologically advanced, we could make more sense out of a being in a thing, because we know space travel is possible. They didn't know that in Christ's day. So that's my take on it. And I also think that is how, because even though I'm a Christian, I will quickly admit that I have issues with a lot of the Old Testament, some of the creation story. I don't just believe it was that simple. I just don't think. That's just my opinion. But the
Bible to me is just a bunch of bullshit.
I hear you. I respect your opinion, but I tell you, if you dig and you do a little studying, because I didn't really start studying it seriously until a few years ago, because I know that it was edited by man, it was put together by man, but I do think there was some divine there, because there's stuff in there that is absolutely it's true. I mean, and if you look at Revelation in particular,
I'm not saying that it's not true. Actually, I'm saying that it's all metaphoric, and that the sun is actually the sun. Is actually our solar sun. See, my theory goes to a more kind of Greek kind of not mythological, but like they made everything a god, like the sun,
absolutely,
the ocean and hell and whatever. All their theories were surrounding the forces that controlled their lives in actual real time. But I fuck with like hardcore Christians sometimes, and I don't mean to out of malice, because I really don't mean any mal intent, but I do.
You're forgiven.
Yeah. I do believe in the power of forgiveness, the power of unconditional love, because the frequency of thought is actually something that can be measured.
And let me get you pause right there, and that is all. That's what I'm talking about. And too many Christians overthink it, and too many non-Christians think that it's just amazing how many people don't get it, whether they're Christians or not.
Right.
Those two things. Anyway, go ahead, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, like a negative thought is measured at a very low frequency, so the waves would be like A positive thought's like da 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 da. So if you're constantly thinking on that frequency da 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 da, then your life is going to be da 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 da. If you're constantly thinking on the woe is me, blah blah blah, life is terrible, I can't believe, yeah, fuck that shit. You don't live in Liberia.
I agree. You control everything about your day. I mean, everything.
So you know, and I think that Bigfoot is real too. Now, the other day I saw this fucking thing where this dude, and it tripped me out so much. This dude was playing in I was just there in Yosemite.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, wow. You went there. That's
yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I loved it. It's like the craziest place on the planet that I've been to so far.
Just wait till it explodes. Or is it?
No, that's Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, okay.
Yeah. All right, so I'm at Yosemite, and I hear little stories here and there about crazy shit that happened there. Because I was there with one of the park guys, you know. And so, and he was a stoner, so of course we're, you know, fucking chilling and smoking, and he starts in on all these crazy stories. Like one of them, there's this one waterfall. It's called Angel Falls, and it's super fucking tall. It's crazy, and it's a real thin waterfall. It's like shoots out like a rocket.
That's down South America, isn't it? Or is it?
No, it's in Yosemite. You go up the top of it, and this Japanese guy was taking film, and he was taking pictures, and he leaned a little bit too far over. He slips, and he's only like 7 feet from the crest, and he's off the that instantly gone.
Oh my God!
Nothing anybody could do. You know, bam. And then
he survived, didn't he?
So no, he died.
Oh, okay.
Shit, that's like a 400-foot drop. It's
but he
ridiculous.
was in water. I don't know. I've heard of crazier shit happening.
I mean, no, you couldn't survive that shit. It's just crazy. You got to see the waterfall, but that's just one of the things. Now, the thing that really tripped me out was there was this guy with his son, and it was Father's Day. They took their kids up in Yosemite. They were all playing in this wide open field. There was this big boulder over by a patch of woods. The kids were playing hide and seek. They were all within, 50 feet of the parents or whatever, 60, 70 feet. And so they're all, running around, acting fool. And this kid's like 6 years old, 7 years old. He goes behind a rock. Literally 30 seconds pass by, and all the other kids are out. His dad started thinking it was weird that he hadn't come out yet. He started yelling for his name. He didn't come out. So he walks over behind the boulder, and the kid is gone. They have like 1,000 people search, a huge area over like 8 weeks or something like that. They didn't give up, looking for this kid or whatever, and they never found him.
Right.
But the feds came, and they quarantined off a whole different section from what they were searching, and searched a different area on their own without letting the father know anything about what was going on or any of that stuff. And so they're over here doing their thing, and they're gathering all this information, and people were witnessing the Bigfoot big time right at that particular moment within those first 3 days of him being disappeared. And one of the witnesses say they saw him on a ridge going up and had something on his shoulder and disappeared into the woods. And so that was like 40 minutes after the kid disappeared, and nothing human could have took him that far in that short amount of time. And there was a lot of other evidence that was gathered after the fact, years after the fact, that was suppressed by the government because they know about Bigfoot, and Bigfoot sometimes will snatch your kid. And then there was another story where Bigfoot snatched this dude up while he was in his sleeping bag and carried him way up into the, past the tree line into the mountains, and was going to cook his ass. And he's sitting there, tied up or whatever inside the sleeping bag, and he's hearing the two Sasquatches actually trying to communicate in some way. They, grunt and whatever, I don't know. And then, they let him out of the sleeping bag, and they tried to be nice to him, even though he knew they were going to try to eat him. And so finally he tried to, and his gun was there. He tried to get away. But see, this is the thing. All this shit sounds crazy, and I know it does. But the possibility is not something that I can say isn't there. And then also the way that if you actually see these people tell these stories, you're like, there's no way he's that good of an actor. There's no fucking way.
I hear you. You know, I've seen some of that with them guys, and you know, if anything's been proven over time, is that anything is possible. I mean, anything. That's
right. We got Star Trek, bitches. All right, we're gonna take a quick pause for the calls. We'll be right back. You.